Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to What She Said. It is Tuesday. Tuesday. And we got a lot to talk about. I have a laundry list of topics to talk about, some hot topics in sports. And while we wait for people to join us, we're just going to go ahead and listen to some music. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, how was everybody today? All right. All right. So, we're going to settle in. Black Coffee Remix. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I want to give a shout out to the What She Said family, What She Said friends. Welcome to new subscribers. We have some new subscribers hanging out with us. I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button on your way in. If you can't stay long, make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Thank you for choosing to support us here at What She Said by subscribing to the channel. We also have memberships for friends and family that come with perks. And check us out. Click the join button, choose your level, join What She Said family today. All right, let's see. We just waiting for people to join us before we get going. Oh, let me update you on the air fryer. So I told y'all about an air fryer. I finally cooked the meal. It was supposed to be fried green tomatoes. Instead, it turned out to be, I did some drumsticks. Normally people do wings. I tried drumsticks. They were delicious. My recommendation is if you try drumsticks to fry them in the air fryer, of course, coat them in your batter, your flour, your batter, your mix. But I would spray either some olive oil on it or maybe like a liquid butter. Either way, just to seal in that flavor. Honestly, it was moist, it was delicious. So if you try drumettes or legs in the air fryer, let me know. All right, let's see who's in here. Hey, 400 Circle Media, what's up, what's up, what's up? What's up, friend? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so we're gonna get started. So yesterday, I was wondering, since it's basketball season, we're talking about basketball and football tonight. I was wondering how Kaiser was doing. Y'all know who Kaiser is. The beauty, the baddie from the Chicago Sky, used to play for the Indiana Fever. But once she joined the Chicago Sky, she became besties with Angel Reese, right? And everybody loved her. The green carpet loved her. The fans loved her. And then she got cut. So, I did a video about that. We talked about it. How there seemed to be some jealousy at Babe because she was actually one of their great three-point shooters that they needed. And afterwards, the Chicago Sky lost Marina Mabry, and it just went down here from there. And Angel Reese got hurt, and then I was out. Just one bad decision after another, in my opinion, by coaching and the front office. So I was like, you know what? I can't waste my time on this. So a lot of people felt that way after Kaiser left and after Angel Reese got hurt. It was like, okay, there's no reason for this. So we learned after she left the Sky that she was in a relationship, I call it love and basketball, with Jaylen Brown. Finals MVP from the NBA Finals. She was with Jaylen for the parade when the Boston Celtics celebrated their win. And we loved it. We were like, cool, okay, nice relationship. He's an intellectual. Think he's like an adjunct professor or does some type of professorship at MIT. She comes from a basketball family. Her father played in the NBA. Her sister, was married to, may he rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins, and she's dating Jaylen Brown. We're like, okay, cool. This is good. Both play basketball. Can work out, and seemed like a good match where they were aligned. You talked about this when we talked about Shedeur and his relationship. If he would date Angel Reese, it would make sense because they both are athletes. In the case of Kaiser and Jaylen Brown, it made a lot of sense because they both were basketball players. Women's basketball, men's basketball, cool, right? So yesterday, as I was checking up on Kaiser to see if she was planning to, I don't know, maybe compete again in professional basketball. I'm not sure what realm. I was like, okay, I saw a lot of pictures of her, modeling. Everybody knows she's a beauty and a baddie. So she models a lot. But it does look like, she's also maintaining, her status to be able to work out and try out for another team. That's why I hoped that Unrivaled would have been a good source for her. But as we talked about yesterday, Tia Cooper, Kaiser, and other former WNBA players they're restricted from playing from Unrivaled. I hate that. I wish that rule goes away because it would be great to see Tia Cooper and or Kaiser Gantrich playing 3v3 and 1v1. So as it turns out, it's reported that Kaiser and Jalen are no more. That there was a split. He might have been caught off guard, but there might have been some distance between the two of them. And when a woman has her own, distance, man distancing himself, maybe she took that as a sign that she better go do her. Well, I like the relationship while it lasted, but if they went separate ways, it seems to be amicable and they both are just moving on into their careers. So I wish both of them well, but I did have fun watching them on red carpets. They look cute as a couple. So that's my love and basketball story for today. In other news in basketball, I did a poll. And I told y'all yesterday, I did a poll whereby I asked if 3v3 and 1v1 would be something that NBA fans would like to see next year for, say, Celebrity All-Star, which in 2026 is in Las Vegas. And the comments that I received said, yeah, we would be interested in seeing, 3v3 and 1v1 in the Celebrity All-Star Weekend or the Celebrity, the All-Star Games or whatever. So All-Star Weekend 2026 in Vegas, NBA, you got to do it. Add 1v1 or 3v3. So thank y'all for participating in the poll. I appreciate it. I didn't know what people would say, but the majority said, yeah, it would be cool. So with that being the case, maybe next year after All-Star Weekend, there won't be so much fuss as there is right now. Draymond Green catching the most flack for his scathing review of the celebrity, I guess the All-Star game where All-Stars are supposed to play. Draymond said it was more like the Olympic team versus the U19 under 19 squad. He didn't like it and he was very passionate in his response. And a lot of people didn't like it, so they're coming for him today. And then, people are upset because it seems that they believe, analysts, that LeBron was blocking a first alternate from playing in the All-Star game because he called out sick at the last minute, saying that it's the Wild Wild West out here and you have to do what you got to do for yourself. I'm like, okay, there's some infighting going on within the NBA. That's obvious, and I'm pretty sure it probably has a lot to do with Luka's trade. A lot of people were caught off guard, so now they feel like they got to do what's best for them because clearly they are not the priority. The front office and the moves that they make are. And they seem to have made these moves quietly, so it's the Wild Wild West out here. So people are going in on LeBron, saying that he's blocking. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. So as of right now, I'm just trying to keep up with basketball as best as I can. But, it's just a lot stemming from All-Star Weekend. I gave my suggestion, 3v3, 1v1. I think the 3v3 should be the Rising Stars. They can have a Rising Stars matchup where 6 players, compete against each other. And then, we as fans get to find out who the Rising Stars are. We get to see their skills. But then, the 1v1 matchups, there could be at least 3 1v1 matchups. First 1 to 11 wins. But they have to be premium top tier matchups. And just as the fans, NBA fans, vote for All-Stars, I think the NBA fans should pick the 3 top tier matchups. So maybe they want to see LeBron against Kyrie or Anthony Edwards against Russell Westbrook or Luka against Jokic. I don't know. But the point is, 3 top tier matchups chosen by the fans at the same time they're selecting All-Star balloting. And I think that'll generate some interest. Y'all let me know what you think. All right, so that's it for Love and Basketball and for NBA news. Congratulations to FAMU. That coach was not happy that he only had a 1-year contract and no expectations for the team. They defeated Alcorn. So I'm keeping my peripheral vision on FAMU's basketball. In fact, I might pop up at Alabama State. They have a game coming up this weekend, and then they're going to go on to Alabama A&M. I've already been to Alabama State, so I know how to get there and back quickly from Atlanta, 2.5 hours. You never know, I might pop up. I might pop up because I do find it interesting that what's going on at FAMU. So shout out to my HBCUs. And leading into HBCUs, don't forget the Legacy Bowl is this weekend. Yesterday, the HBCU Combine wrapped up yesterday. There were 50 invitees. Allstate is actually the sponsor of the Legacy Bowl. I think Ochsner and other local entities were sponsors of the Combine. It looks like they're well taken care of. I know they partnered with the NFL. Last year, it's only been since 2022. That's when they started the Legacy Bowl. And, Black College Hall of Fame is one of the presenting sponsors as well. Then came on the NFL, now Allstate. So it's growing. So I checked to see how many players were drafted from HBCUs last year. I think it said 0. So NFL, we're going to need to do better. We don't want to be out here wasting people's time. 50 invitees this year, 10% of 50 is what? Okay, so that's how many at least, at minimum, from HBCU should pop up. Currently, I think there are 15 players on active rosters. So we got to keep, showing love to HBCUs. I don't know why the Combine is separate, but, maybe it's a good thing. I'm an HBCU grad, so, whatever they decide, I'll roll with. But I just want to make sure that these HBCU invitees to the NFL Combine or to the Combine get their fair shake. All right. So moving right along. Let me see who's in the chat. Hey, Regina, welcome. It says the WNBA did make money. That's why they do other things. Well, I have a lot to say about that. It was in my last video, I'm sure, when it came to the WNBA. It's called marketing. Unrivaled has proven that if you market, you'll get partnerships. If you advertise, you'll secure financing. They have financing. They have exclusive TV deal with Cinemax. It used to be Cinemax, but Max. They have TNT showing their games. They have ads on the refs, sponsorship from big names like Sephora. They have an audience. We saw the players at All-Star Weekend playing in the celebrity game. I know I saw Rakia Jackson. I saw Dejounte Carrington. There were others there as well. So, I feel like Unrivaled has done more in their first season than possibly the WNBA did all last year. And some people came back to the comments and said, you mean since the beginning of the WNBA. So the product has always been there. Unrivaled, co-founded by 2 players, chose to display the product and not just one player, all of them. In their media press week, they highlighted every single player. I actually learned the names of teams at the time. I found out where my favorite players are. And I even saw Alicia Gray, who plays for the Atlanta Dream. I even saw her in their tournament. And they're like at the semifinals level. And I think it just wrapped up. Matter of fact, I think they're back in active play. So I watched the semifinals. It's actually on YouTube. Y'all can go watch it with Rakia Jackson versus Nefessa Collier. I may have touched on that before. I thought it was really good. First 1 to 11 wins. That is actually the format I believe that the NBA should adopt for the next All-Star Weekend for 1v1. So I've said that multiple times, so I hope somebody's listening. I even heard Shannon Sharp utter it. Well, maybe they need to shake it up. Maybe they need to do a 1v1. I was like, yes. So this is me saying it again. NBA, thank me later. Trip for 4, all inclusive, all expenses paid to Los Angeles. Next All-Star in LA. I'm cool with it. All right, so it says pay to watch the NBA on an app. Yeah. And if you have TNT, you can watch Unrivaled as part of your package that you have with your TV provider, which I like that. I just got done watching Shedeur in Vegas and car shopping. Yes, that's on our list. Well, since you brought it up, let's just go for it. All right. So Shedeur Sanders sported his new hair. He even sported it on his new podcast. Was in Vegas. And when I tell you his accommodations, his hotel was It's a suite, obviously, beautiful. It looks like, circular, beautiful. I mean, I started to show pictures of it, but I was like, I don't want to invade his privacy. It's actually out there. You can go watch it. But Shedeur seems to like cars, and in particular, he loves the Rolls Royce. But he was spotted at a swanky, exclusive luxury car dealership, and he was looking at cars, and there was a real Rolls Royce there, and I was like, Shedeur, you got to get something different. You got to get something different. You already got a Rolls Royce, but this was the sedan, and I was like, you still got to get something else because you already did the Rolls Royce. Let's just be different. And true, he has a Maybach. It's gorgeous, right? It's gorgeous, but he saw that I think he should get with his signing bonus. Not that he don't have it now. Is a Maybach G-Wagon squared 4x4 or a G-Wagon squared 4x4 Maybach edition. Gorgeous. Now the price tag can be hefty, $1.4 million. But exclusivity is how you do it. I'm not saying everybody has a Rolls Royce, but the Rolls Royce sedan is not, anything that, we don't see. Well, in Atlanta, I see them. So I don't know where you live, but I see them in Atlanta. I'm sure you see them in LA. I'm sure you see them in Vegas. I'm sure you see them, or possibly in New York. It just depends. But maybe Florida. But to me, I can't say that I've seen rolling anywhere, online or in person, the G-Wagon squared Maybach edition. That's exclusivity. If you're gonna do it, you might as well go exclusive. Shedeur, if you're listening, get the G-Wagon Maybach edition 4x4 squared. It's the bomb. All right, but lease it. Don't buy it, lease it. All right, so that's that. So Shedeur, the title of his video is What Happens in Vegas Stays in Vegas. Go watch it. It's really good. Bucky was there, teasing Shedeur per usual. There's a car seat in the back seat of the Rolls Royce they brought for him to look at. I didn't understand that, but I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to see the color scheme on the inside. So Bucky was teasing him like, they already got the car seat in the back for you. And, of course, it just cut away from there. Bucky is hilarious. Florida was there. Florida is his personal trainer. So, Shedeur's working out daily, still doing his podcast. And he's sporting off his new hair, which means he intends to keep it. I love that because I think it looks good. Come to find out, Cam Ward had twists. I'm like, I'm liking this. I want these guys to be themselves more and more and more. They don't need Mr. Bob. Cam Ward certainly does not, and he knows his worth, and he's hella confident, and y'all know Shedeur Sanders is. So that leads me into my next conversation about last night after we logged off. Popped up on my phone, and I was like, should I go live again? I was like, no, I'll just wait till tomorrow. So there's a story by Sports Illustrated, essentially saying that the Giants might have some concerns about Shedeur because of Coach Prime's involvement. One other article said Shedeur being in Coach Prime's shadow, and I said, ha ha ha. They clearly don't know Shedeur. Shedeur is his own person. We've seen him in Vegas twice now. You've never seen his father once. Not ever. So, you know what it's given? And I said this last night. Let me tell you what that's given. It's given the Giants are getting ready to make a decision that most fans, probably their fans, won't likely agree with. And this is like a preface to say, well, we couldn't get Shedeur, because, we don't know, maybe Coach Prime, might be there and he might get involved. Now, I know I heard Coach Prime say with my own 2 ears that he's just going to give it up to God and let God pick for wherever Shedeur should go, because why? God knows best. That's what he said. I was like, that's the right move, Coach Prime. Just let God pick it. I know you worried about him ended up in a terrible system, but we got to let God do what God does. Now, I know I heard him say that. I'm sure some of them, y'all know who them is, analysts, heard them say that as well. So to come back with this story, knowing I know full well that they trying to pull Jackson Dart up from the number 4 quarterback on the board from the 2nd round to get him to the 1st round. And where do you think he would go? Right. So to me, this was a preface to put it out there. Oh, we not gonna get Shedeur. We couldn't get Shedeur because Coach Prime, is his father, and he might, intervene. That's what it's giving. I'm getting ready to make a simpleton decision, and that's cool because I didn't want Shedeur to go there no way. So that's what that's about. So when y'all see these stories floating about Coach Prime being involved, that's bad news for Shedeur. Keep turning the page. Keep skip whatever. Whatever. Because I'm telling you what that is. I'm telling you. I'm not saying 100% that they're going to get Jackson Dart, but I do believe that's what the biased media is trying to work out and show the Giants that that's where they should go. Because I even heard Chase Daniels saying, oh, Jackson Dart is going in the first round. I'm like, okay, Chase, and people believe Chase, his opinions come from a different place. So don't be surprised if that's what happens. Anyway. Since we brought up Coach Prime, I saw Coach Prime today on Reach the People Media. And I was wondering where he was because we hadn't seen him. Y'all know Coach Prime pops up every now and then. Well, come to find out, he was kind of starting to feel a bit under the weather. You could tell his voice was a little hoarse. He talks about it on there. Go watch it. That's on Darius' podcast. And he was getting an IV. IVs are supposed to be really good. It's like the latest trend in med spa type services. And honestly, I think it's a good thing. I think I've tried the IV. There are places that you can go here in Atlanta. And honestly, it does wonders. It makes you feel rejuvenated. So hopefully, Coach Prime is doing well. He was getting, I think Lauren was trying to give him the IV, and he doesn't like needles. And I'm actually under the comment section saying, Coach Prime, you were scared of needles? Get a butterfly needle. Because he said his veins don't cooperate. I'm like, mine either. Get a butterfly needle, Coach Prime. So somebody like this. So if y'all see it, hit the like button. That's me, Reach the People Media, Coach Prime segment today. So let's wish Coach Prime well. We don't want him to get the flu. We don't want him to get pneumonia. Hopefully the IV shot and some rest will do, and we'll see Coach Prime soon. All right, let's see who's in the comments. What you said? Viewers a little bit, right? And Carson Beck, thank y'all for reminding me of his name, went to Miami, $4 million, supposedly his endorsements give him a cool $10 million for 1 year. So come to find out, Quinn Ewers was actually offered $6 million to hop in the transfer portal before he declared for the draft, but he turned it down. And I was like, oh, I guess people feel like because he's going to second and third round, the $6 million, he'll do better in the second or third round. So we have to wait and see. Kiel told us that rookie contracts are basically prefab. It's like the first round is $10 million. It seems like the second round might be 9 or 8, and then lower and lower as you go. So we just won't have to see where he ends up to know if that was a good move. I'm sure there are a lot of college football players that are going to watch his scenario to see if it was worth it to stay in school one more year, get the $6 million cold hard cash, start your NFL career with money, well, he might have money, but maybe not that kind of money. So we'll have to see what happens with Quinn Ewers with that, but it is projected that he will go in the second or third round. We talked about Jalen Milroe. I posted about Jalen Milroe today. John was in the comments yesterday, and he essentially, had his opinion. And I told him I would go watch Milroe play. So I chose the Oklahoma game to watch Milroe play. Now, John said Milroe has not won any big games, that he chokes in the big games. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not true because they beat Georgia. And that's one of the biggest games for Alabama. So, yeah, I watched him struggle. I watched Milroe struggle in the beginning of the game. It looks like, it made me think, again, we were blessed with Shedeur because we watched Shedeur throw a pick and still maintain his focus and not, get frazzled. I felt like that's what happened to Jalen Milroe. So I don't think he should be called trash because of one bad game. What I do think, my suggestion that has been on my mind for a minute, for Mr. Jalen Milroe, I think it would be awesome for him to call up Daryl Colbert Jr., who is the best quarterback coach out here. Daryl Colbert Jr. has the number 1 and number 2 QBs off the board, no matter what analysts try to say. Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. That's not a coincidence. So in my opinion, Jalen Milroe, if you ever see this, call up Daryl Colbert Jr., start working out with him, post it so we can see it on social media and everybody else can see it as well. I think that'll be good for you. I know you only have 60 days until the draft, but hey, it's never too late. So I do think that a solid quarterback coach working out with Daryl Colbert Jr. would be good for Jalen Milroe. But by no means is he trash for that. You can't say he's not good in the big games. He chokes in the big games, and he beat Georgia. And then let us not forget, when Nick Saban was there, Jalen Milroe took Alabama to that SEC title game against Georgia. So what? They didn't win, okay. But this year, they actually did beat Georgia. So he doesn't choke in the big games. Something was transpiring in that game. And I just think that Colorado was blessed to have a QB that is unflappable. And I do think after his first pick, when he threw the second one, I think it crushed him. So, that's something you have to work on in terms of the mental. But by no means is he a trash QB. By no means. But I do think Jalen Milroe call up Daryl Colbert Jr. and work out with him. Best QB coach in the business, Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward's coach. All right. It say Giants won't be selecting a black QB. Right. Right. And the conversation about Shedeur is just a way to try to explain to their fans about the decision that they're going to make. Friends and family and those with opposing views are respected and loved in our chat. Absolutely. Absolutely. Friends and family, peace and love. Yep. Now, y'all might not know this, okay? I was on a debate team in high school for one semester. So y'all was a cheerleader. So I'm open to, debates, rebuttals. That's what this is. I drive the conversation. I might tell you my personal opinion. I might not. I might not agree with your opinion. Like when John said Milroe, he didn't think he was a good quarterback. I like John in the chat. So that's what the debate is about. I'm going to come back with an opposing argument and he might have a rebuttal. So understand, that's what this is. And I'm just a facilitator driving a conversation. All right. Welcome, Gracie. Welcome. We get together every day. Right now, 8:30 p.m. it seems to be working. Give people time to get home, get settled in, eat, do what they have to do. Maybe they got to get kids to bed. But 8:30 seems to work, so we're here daily. And you might see me in the daytime. You never know. You never know. I have popped up for an emergency pod. And I appreciate all the new subscribers, but mostly, you know who I appreciate too, in addition to friends and family that show up every day, or most times daily. I appreciate the reply game. We have a few people, James, we have Ronnie, and we have Franklin. They go through the comments after I post new commentary, and they take the time to respond because they can't show up for the live stream. I appreciate them as well. So to me, I want to say welcome and thank you to the reply game, and to new subscribers, come on board. Feel free to share your opinion. There are no wrong answers. I'm just driving the conversation. I'm just your facilitator. Okay, it says this thing not wanting the black QB. It said the Titans are the same way. I've questioned the Titans' strategy because it seems to have the talent that they have. They refer to Travis as a generational talent. Everybody thinks Blue Carter should go first all of a sudden, and then they want to drop Shedeur and Cam down to the bottom. So that means that it changes the structure of what quarterbacks will be drafted. Like right now, if you look at it, it's Shedeur, Cam, Jalen Milroe. So everybody kind of wants to shake up that structure. For the same reason we didn't hear anybody celebrate in Black History Month that we had 2 black quarterbacks facing off again in the Super Bowl. So, you have to be ever vigilant when you start listening to media analysts with these mock drafts. I actually heard Michael Parsons on the Edge again, popped up in my feed. and I took the time to listen to him again, how as NFL players, he was having a conversation with Derrick Henry. He doesn't feel like the MVP vote should be cast by the media. And I'm like, I agree, because it's too much bias from sports media. And he was like, maybe from NFL, players. I'm like, I like that. Why not be voted on MVP vote come from your peers? To me, you can manipulate the media too much. So I think going forward, the NFL should change the strategy, not so-called media analysts who seem like they can be bought, into changing their votes from Lamar Jackson to somebody else, and not even voting for Saquon Barkley was just ridiculous. So I think it just shows the apparent bias that the media analysts have. So I think the NFL should move away from that. I do like the idea brought up on with Michael Parsons, what he talked about NFL players voting for MVP. Who better to vote for NFL MVP than the peers? Your peers. Peer votes are crucial. So that's my thought on that. And as we go forward, everybody has a new mock draft. And honestly, I just feel like when you look at the way that they talk about the players, you can see the bias, negativity about Shedeur. You don't even hear them really talk about Cam. And somebody actually brought that up in the comments yesterday. I was watching the channel. They said, why is Cam so underrated? Why y'all keep saying he should go first, but you don't talk about his strength? You don't talk about, why he should maybe go second. You don't really talk about him. It's just about pushing Shedeur down to make sure he doesn't get drafted probably top 5. Hell, some people think the second round. Even though, a lot of fans speculate that he's going to Vegas, they insist that he's going to the Giants, which is lunacy, BS-ery, because if anybody knows how the Giants organizations and the Titan organizations take care of business, they know that that's probably not going to happen. So that's why I said this Sports Illustrated story about, maybe, the Giants, it's not a good landing place for Shedeur because of Coach Prime. Don't put that on Coach Prime. Just be honest about why you probably won't ever draft Shedeur anyway. So anyway, that's where we are on that, trying to kick out the media bias. And that's what this channel is about. We're just being honest. We don't like BS-ery around here. That's my made up word, but that's what it is. That's what it is. And I'm going to just call it out. I have nothing to lose. I'm not trying to be friends with anybody. I'm not trying to work for any of these people. I am a football fan. I am a basketball fan. And that's what we're going to talk about. Authentically. All right. So, my thing is, too many people have, they don't want to talk about the truth about a lot of these stories because they want something from the players. I'm like, I don't know these people. I just admire their athletic talents and ability. I'm going to always respect the Sanders family because that's why I came through the door, after watching college football with Georgia and Alabama under Jalen Hurts. That's why when people ask me, who's your favorite team, NFL team, I don't have one. I have favorite players. And if you watch this podcast long enough, you'll figure out exactly who they are. All right. So, Cam Ward, article going around that he put the Titans on notice by essentially saying, if they don't want to draft him, that's cool. Again, they're entitled to their opinion. But if you don't draft me, that's your fault. According to Cam Ward, it said, you got to remember, you're the same team that's got to play me for the rest of my career. And I will remember that. So what do y'all think about that? How you like them apples? That's what confidence is. That's what knowing your abilities, your self-worth, that's what it looks like. It's like, cool, you don't have to draft me, but that's going to be on you. Because, I do have to meet up against you at some point. I'm looking forward to it. We also said we're looking forward to whatever team Cam goes to. If he had gone to the Titans, if he should, if he goes to the Titans will play the Raiders, and that's where we think Shedeur is going. So we were already looking forward to that matchup of Shedeur and Cam Ward in the NFL. We wanted to see it in the Pop-Tart Bowl, but Colorado didn't get invited to the Pop-Tart Bowl against Miami. So we have to wait for it here in the NFL. But y'all let me know what you think about Cam Ward. I don't think it's a warning. I don't think it's a stern warning. I think it's just his sentiment. That if y'all don't draft me, that's your fault. And like I was saying, Tennessee, I don't really know them as a organization as much as you can see how the Giants move. I don't really focus on Tennessee that much. But since I live east of the Mississippi River now, and I'm an hour away from Tennessee, I probably will pay attention more. But I do find it strange that with them having Abdul Carter, who everybody insists should go first, Travis Hunter, who everyone insists, the media insists that he's generational talent, and then also Shedeur and Cam, maybe Cam Ward, as the option to pick first with their needs that they have. They need a quarterback. And if they want to lean on Will Levis, okay, then they need Travis Hunter, right? And if not Travis Hunter, then why not Abdul Carter? So for them to go, you know what? Yeah, there's some good choices out there, but we don't want to get any of those. It raises your eyebrow. So today I heard that, it was a reminder that they have a new GM. I was like, inexperience. Okay. Inexperience, maybe frugality. It could be some other things there. But I'm going to just go with they have a new GM who must be inexperienced in the NFL draft. And the reason why I say that is, even if you don't follow NFL football much, if you followed it a little bit as a casual fan this year, you knew Travis Hunter was generational talent. So maybe not Abdul Carter so much. I didn't know about him until we got to the whole mock draft scenarios. Even though he went to Penn State, I still didn't know about him much. But everybody knew about Travis Hunter. So for Tennessee to have the opportunity to pick Travis Hunter, whether he plays receiver or corner or one way with a bunch of packages on the other one, the fact that they could even consider passing and negotiating and giving away their pick for some trades, it's interesting. So we have to watch, we'll see what happens in Tennessee. But I'm not mad at Cam Ward for basically putting the truth out there. It's cool, you don't pick me, but that's going to be on you, and I'm going to line up against you. And that'll just be a nice, healthy competition to watch. Any team that drafts Cam Ward as their QB versus the Titans. All right, it says, let's see the comments here. Salute to the chat. Hey, Blue Devil. It says, salute to what she said. Welcome. All right, 22, you're back. 22, you have like a virtual twin. Yesterday we had 622 with us. So I named them 622 and you 22. To make sure we honor you, because you always hang out with us and we can differentiate. It said right now Tennessee Titans draft pick up for sale. And the Raiders might move up and get Shedeur. I do believe the Raiders will move up and get Shedeur. I like that. Thank you, 22. My take on it, my personal opinion, is that I always believed that the Raiders were going to trade up from 6 to 2 to get Cleveland's pick because they don't need a quarterback. But it looks like they might be interested in Travis. So they might want to keep their pick. And that's cool because why? Tennessee does seem to be shopping around its first pick, regardless of what we think about it being a interested move or not. That works out for us. Us being Shedeur Sanders fans, because that means the Raiders, who we talked about have a lot of cap space, could actually trade from 6 to 1 instead of 6 to 2. 6 to 1, making Shedeur Sanders the first pick in the NFL draft, and that is what I believe is going to happen. But we shall see. It says, Caroline says, Cam can't say that, but if Shedeur says that, it's a problem. Right. That's true. And Shedeur did tell Cam. He said, because, everybody talks about how, fans talk about how the media hates on Shedeur. Media analysts hates on Shedeur. And he was heard telling Cam, they're going to start coming for you too. So let's see if this is the match that lights the fire, that sees them coming towards Cam Ward. So we shall see. But shout out to Cam Ward. I like your hand twist. Keep it up. Let's see. Kiel said, that's not true. The only way that could happen is if the same division as Tennessee, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, or Houston, or any other team, they'll play them every 4 years or every 2 years. Okay, you talking about Cam Ward playing another team being on another team playing the Titans? Let me know your thoughts. All right. So, that's Cam Ward. I told you I got a list of stuff today. Let's see what else is on my list. All right. Yeah, I'ma just say it. All right. So last night, before I logged off, before the sun came up, it was reported that one of our couples that we were hopeful for would make it because they just had a little baby have gone to separate ways for right now. Hopefully, they're just taking a time out. And the reason I say hopefully they're taking a time out is because they have a little baby. I'm talking about Coach Prime's daughter, DeAndrea and Jacquees. Now, regardless of how you felt about the relationship, because non-football fans had way a lot to say. I really feel like for DeAndrea, this is a perfect opportunity for her to get with a licensed marriage and family therapist counselor, because she's gonna have to co-parent with this young man. Her and Jacquees gonna have to co-parent. There seems to have been a falling out on the family side, meaning Jacquees' family. There's a lot that's being said directly from approximately his mother on social media. Regardless of how I feel about it, the point at the end of the day, Snow needs two parents that can actively co-parent. Regardless of all the noise from his side, the family, the Sanders haven't said a word, not surprising. She's grown, she makes her own choices. But in order to cope with this type of tenuous situation with a new baby, I suggest licensed marriage family therapist. She could begin a relationship with them. They can help her navigate, which could be a rocky co-parenting situation. Kids got to be dropped off, taken back and forth. That's heart-wrenching. So, this is not about whether I feel like they should get back together or not. No, that's not what this is about. This is about, her being a young mother. Relationship looks like it's tenuous, and she's gonna have to co-parent. They gonna have to co-parent, and for her to be able to cope through this, not embarrass herself, not wear herself out, not stress herself out, but be the best mother that she can be for her baby. I suggest a licensed marriage and family therapist to help her get through this, process her feelings, and cope moving forward. So good luck to you, DeAndrea, and I know your dad will always be there for Snow, so good luck to you. Oh, thank you, Kiel. It said hello. Hey, Queen T. It said hello that I think because of the NIL benefits for college players, the NFL know that these guys have money and they're taking a different approach when it comes to selecting players. They are arrogant, in my opinion. That could be the case. I don't doubt that at all. We talked about Carson Beck staying behind 1 year and getting $4 million. And Kiel, since you're here, I did go look up how much a first year, second round QB makes, because they were talking about Quinn Ewers going from round 2 to round 3, possibly 2 or 3. Same thing with Dylan Gabriel. And it was reported that he was offered $6 million to hop in the transfer portal. So y'all know Carson Beck was offered $4 million to hop in the transfer portal and go to Miami. He did. Quinn Ewers offered $6 million, returned it down, decided to go in the league and take his chances at second or third. Kiel, if I'm not mistaken, is the pay structure such that if you go in round 1, you get about $10 million for maybe 4 years? That's where the $40 million and $36 million contracts come from. That is said that Shedeur or Travis could get. Then when you get to the second round, I'm thinking as a QB, maybe it's more like 8 to 9 million. And then I'm assuming it's a downward trajectory for rounds 3, 4, 5, etc. Let me know your thoughts on that, Kiel. I know you know, so I just want to make sure so I can understand. All right. No, ma'am, abuse gets worse. What happened? Caroline, what are we talking about? Let's see. I might have missed something. Let me know, Caroline. Queen T said DeAndrea crossed the line when she blasted. All right, so this is the part, the back and forth about what really transpired that I'm not getting into, because I've seen that the mom called her out of her name first, and then DeAndrea responded like, you got the wrong one. I wasn't there. I don't know. I didn't see it, and that's not really my thing. What I really thinking about is that this could be hard for her. If she had a tough time in a relationship, being respected by his side of the family, as it's reported, then I think it's good that she gets a licensed marriage and family therapist to help her process her feelings. So one, she's not on the internet with it. Two, for her own sanity, because one, you have a baby, and that's gonna bring up a lot of emotions. You and the person you were gonna marry, if that's not happening, y'all moving in different directions. He may move on, you may move on, but y'all have a baby. You might have feelings about a lot of things. And to process it, licensed marriage, family therapist, begin a relationship to help cope with the co-parenting. If he moves on with somebody else, even if it's the person that she maybe has suspected, even if it's his ex, or even if it's somebody she don't know, to have a young baby and to have a relationship go south, and to have a lot of drama publicly and privately is something I believe that a licensed therapist can help her navigate. That's the part that I care about. Not just as a single woman, but as a mother with a new baby who's single. Yeah. So I know her family will be there for her. So that's not the thing. This is about her sanity, her well-being, the best way for her to move forward and, remain her dignity, her integrity, and her peace of mind. Ultimately, that's what this is about. I mean, she likely dodged a bullet, but the point is, how do you navigate the scenario afterwards to maintain your peace? All right. It says, you're absolutely right. At this point, Snow is the priority. Yeah, he is. He is the priority. Absolutely. Should be at the top. Exactly. For everybody involved. And that's for his mother. That's for him. That's for the lady that was speaking out, who had some horrible things to say. As his manager, to me, he needs to clamp down on all of that, because regardless of how they feel about her, that is the mother of his child, and that is his child. So, who cares what they think, bro? You got to take the lead here. You got to take the lead and protect your relationship, whether it's co-parenting, cordial, you want to get back together, and maybe you don't, but you got to protect that co-parenting relationship. You got to tell the people on your side of the family, hey, I appreciate how you feel, but I'm going to need y'all to pipe down, stay off the internet, and not intervene in my relationship. This is the mother of my child. We have to have a cordial relationship here. I think the two of them should go to co-parenting counseling. But if he don't want to do that, then she definitely needs to take the lead for her own sanity. And if he wants to come along and tag along and decides that he can speak up for himself and protect his co-parenting relationship with her and protect her peace for his own child's sake, then yeah, but first he got to start with putting these people in their place by telling them, hey, I'm gonna need y'all to, if you gonna respect me, then I need you to respect her and stop speaking out on the internet. Respect me. Because see, that's a lack of respect for him, in my opinion. You got people saying this and that about her, bro. They don't respect you. Because if she's the mother of your child and we know her to be, then they should respect you enough not to say anything and just be silent. So that's on him at this point. So my concern is for her own sanity. Because she got a young kid. And if you've never had a young child and you're by yourself and you were in a relationship that's ended, you might not know what that feels like. But having a child to raise primarily on your own and having to deal with the possible end of what was going to be a marriage is not easy. So that's why I say get a navigator, licensed family therapist, family marriage and family therapist, please. So, yep. All right. Hello, everyone. Darlene. Hello. Just checking in. Hey, Darlene. Welcome back. Darlene, you represent Detroit, right? Tell me if I'm right. Drop the line. I think so. We were talking about Myles Garrett going to Detroit, but I don't think you were with us. It looks like he might be in Dallas. So if y'all get him in Detroit or you hear anything about, him coming there or whatever, you let us know, please. Thank you. Anybody in Indianapolis where the combine is going to be? Let me know. I'm just curious at this point. Anybody in New Orleans besides me, but I'm not in New Orleans right now. Anybody in New Orleans, let me know. The HBCU Legacy Bowl is coming up. I might have some tickets for you so you can go and get me some content. I'm always willing to buy some tickets for somebody to go to an event that I can't make it to, with the understanding that you got to bring me back some clear footage that I can share with the family. All right. All right. It said they have to get structure like that because they were giving first rounders $100 million. What? So Kiel is schooling us on why there's structure for football players in the draft because they were giving first rounders $100 million. The last CBA contract was where veterans complained. That's why that happened. Okay, all right. Thank you for that. So, with that being the case, Kiel, Quinn Ewers turning down $6 million might have been the right move because even if he goes second or third round, well, second round, he still would get 8 to 9 million, which is better, and he's in the league where he wants to be. Let me know your thoughts about that, sir. Dama said, I don't understand why people put their personal business and dirty laundry in the house on the internet. You know, I think it just goes to show you that her emotions were getting the best of her. And now that, you know, she's not saying anything, I saw her post a cute post for her and the baby. And I know that she was coming up the ring and I didn't think she had it on and I didn't say anything, you know, because I didn't know exactly what was going on. But the point is, you know, she looked like she's trying to move forward with still keeping up. Because, you know, she has sponsorships too. Like she's an ambassador, I think, for a few companies. So that means she's still moving forward. And, you know, cool, good. That's what it is. Protect your peace at all costs, DeAndre. Protect your peace and make sure no stress get to your baby. Because your child can pick up on stress in you. That's what people don't understand. When you have a child and if you stress, whether it's a familial stressor happening or it's work, your child can pick up on that. That's why you want to protect your peace at all costs. All right, it says they all were wrong to bring it to the public. I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, I'm definitely not taking sides in terms of was she wrong or what, but yeah, everybody should have just, you got to be the bigger person and just sometimes, you know. So I see y'all relating in the chat. I appreciate it. I agree, Queen T. It says, hello, family. Pray for Coach Prime. He's not feeling well today. Yes. We talked about that at the top of the podcast. He was taking an IV. I hope he gets better. I knew I hadn't seen him. I said, okay, now we hadn't seen Coach Prime in a few days. I wonder where he is. And then here he is. He pops up. You probably know we were thinking about him because we see him all the time. So I hope he gets well. People in the comments were saying that, you know, they want to make sure he gets an adequate amount of rest and liquids and fluids so that he doesn't get pneumonia because that's hard to shake. It can be hard to shake the older you get. And then he doesn't get the flu because the flu can take you out for like a week or so. Also hard to recover from the older you get. And people were commenting on how in shape Coach Prime is. Because, you know, he had to roll his arm up. And a few people in the comments were like, wait a minute, Coach Prime got guns, you know, talking about his arms. Yeah, he looks muscular. So, you know, that goes to the fact that he does take care of himself. And if he's still getting a little bit under the weather, he probably needs some rest. So let us know if y'all hear about it on the next podcast. If you come back to the comments after I post this live stream and y'all hear an update, feel free to post it there. Yeah, I agree. Don't bring it to the internet. It says, did you hear that Travis is going to try to play basketball and baseball like Coach Prime? No, I did not. Travis was on my list today, so let's just get to it. So what I did hear again last night, I heard a lot last night after we got off this podcast, is that Travis likely is working out as a cornerback on day 1 and a wide receiver on day 2. So it is likely possible that you're only hearing him in the media, people saying corner, not just for clicks too, but because they had to choose. In other words, let's say if he was like, I want to work out as a receiver, he would have missed day 1 cornerback activities. So if he's a corner first, he works out as a corner first. The second day, he works out as a wide receiver because I told you the wide receivers are working out with the quarterbacks. So it's likely he's going to work out both days. And that's actually good. A former scout for the New York Jets, keyword former. I don't think he's a part of the new staff with Aaron Glenn. Actually said after watching film, he believes that Travis is a better wide receiver. I'm like, you know, that's good for Travis' pockets because everybody knows the wide receivers make more money than the corners. But I do believe, regardless of where Travis goes, don't know what they're gonna start him as. He will have packages. I don't think he's going to any team that will be foolish enough to restrict him like that. So I think he's gonna go as whatever he goes as, and he's gonna have packages. So I don't know if that means in the draft he'll be a corner and he'll have wide receiver packages. But if it's being said that he's a better receiver, and I watched film today, I watched more. A lot of people have highlight reels of like Colorado's best plays. Travis is in most, if not 90% of the coverage, and he was doing really well as a wide receiver. He's good as a corner too, but he is more explosive as a wide receiver. He's more of a playmaker on the wide receiver side. And a corner, he can lock down and keep them from preventing from throwing to that side. But in terms of playmaker, wide receiver. So whoever the former scout was for the Jets, I totally agree. But that's also good for his money. Maybe they'll let it go both ways, so he can just be available for where the team wants him to go. Because that's ultimately what's going to come down to whoever drafts him. If it's Cleveland, knowing that Myles Garrett is leaving, they better let him play both ways. That would be smart for them. Caroline said that IV fluids will get him right. His muscles, yeah. Oh, you saw the muscles too? Yeah. So that's good to hear. Yeah, that IV, he gets some rest, he gonna be good. But his voice was a little hoarse, so he's been doing a lot of moving around. I think he said they traveled from, New Orleans back to Canton, and I thought he said a road trip. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm not taking any flights anytime soon. So if you hear me say I'm traveling, yeah, keep me in your prayers because it's a road trip. It can be a road trip from Atlanta to Tennessee, Alabama, New Orleans, Houston, or DC. I'm willing to try. I'm willing to drive. I'm willing to drive. My fear of flying was already there. Not because I don't travel, because I was starting to feel uncomfortable. Like there was a nose that flew off on a wing on an airplane one time. Then you have all of these accidents, these fatalities, these planes flipping over. I'm straight. I'm just gonna go ahead and hop behind the wheel and get it done. And if y'all traveling on a plane, let us know. We'll look out for you. We'll keep you in our prayers, but I'm grounded. And they need to use a butterfly needle. Yes, that's what I said in the comments under recent people media. I said, Coach Prime, you need a butterfly needle. Because honestly, he said he had to look away, and that's what I do. But I always tell them I need a butterfly needle. And normally when they use a butterfly needle, they don't have as much issue finding my veins. And that's what he said was his problem. They can't find the veins. There's something called rolling veins where your veins don't just kind of keep still, for the most part. So use a butterfly needle, Coach Prime. Get well soon. So, that's that on that. So yes. Let's see. All right. I told you I had a list. Oh, I wanted to clarify something. Yesterday I asked the question. Did Farrakhan X, who's a wide receiver for Colorado, a commit, go to the same high school as Jalen Hurts? No. Jalen Hurts went to Channelview, and Farrakhan X committed from North Shore. Very good schools, but they didn't go to the same school. We talked about that yesterday. I just wanted to clarify that. And I wanted to also touch on something else we talked about. We talked about who will be the next starting quarterback at Alabama. We landed on that topic because we were talking about Jalen Milroe, and now that he's declared for the draft and he'll be drafted into the NFL, who will be the next starting quarterback? His name is Keelan Russell. That's who we were talking about yesterday when I said Caden Salter, who's the QB for Colorado. He's competing against Juju. We talked about how the schools that are popular in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in terms of football, Duncanville, which is where Keelan went, Cedar Hill, which is where Caden went, and North Crowley, which is where Gibson, the wide receiver, went. And they had some good footwork drills today, and Gibson was getting it done. I was like, whoa, they were doing good today. You can see that strength and conditioning coming on. And there's a lady, she's like a strength and conditioning coach. I like her. She be on it. She be on it, because, Coach Swayze said, look, if you mess up, don't just be okay with messing up the ladders. Go back and get it done. Get it, at least try it again. That's what he was saying. But then too, I think he was also trying to say, don't get too fixated on it that you don't focus on anything else. So it's about balance. So All right. So yeah, I know. I didn't hear that he was gonna try to play baseball and basketball. I did hear him say, I could play baseball too. As if to say maybe if he don't get to play both ways, he'll just go play baseball. He is an all-around athlete for sure. Okay, we talked about the HBCU combine. It wrapped up yesterday. I'm looking to see how many people will be drafted from HBCUs. It says that 2024 was zero. Currently 15 active players. 50 were invited to the HBCU combine. So I'm looking to see at least 5 to 10 players come out of HBCUs when we have 329 picks or something like that. No, 329 invitees from FBS schools or Power Fives or non-HBC. Okay, so y'all, I think we touched on every single thing I wanted to talk about. We started by talking about my favorite love and basketball couple, Kaiser, and y'all know she played for the Chicago Sky, the beauty that was besties with Angel Reese, her and her boo. Jaylen Brown seems to have gone similar ways, so I wish them both the best in the future. We talked about Cam Ward. We talked about Shedeur, and the Giants basically setting their fan base up for what could possibly be a simple move by stating that Shedeur, might not be a good pick for them because, they worried about Coach Prime being in his shadow. But anybody that knows the Sanders family know all those kids are independent and do their own things. And we've seen Shedeur in Vegas twice, and we haven't seen Coach Prime with him once. So that says a lot. We talked about Keelan Russell. According to AI, he will be the starting quarterback for Alabama. We'll see if AI is correct as time moves on. And Cam Ward with his message regarding if the Titans don't, draft him, that's cool. But, he gonna remember it when he line up against them, and they might need to keep that in mind. Again, shows confidence and whatnot. And Coach Prime, we wish him well. We hope he gets some rest as he's feeling a little bit under the weather. All right. I can't believe I got through my whole list today. Okay. It said IV fluids get Coach Prime right, and they need to use the butterfly needle. That's right. And Queen C said, is most of the coaches that was at Colorado have left the team. Well, I heard somebody bring this up yesterday. I think it's one of the content creators for Colorado, asked the question, is all the film coverage, that Bucky does, that Darius does from Reach the People Media, one of the reasons why the coaches get poached? I'm like, no, because to be honest with you, the coach that left Houston, I don't know. I think it could have been a recommendation. Remember, I don't know if y'all know, but Coach Willie Simmons, who's the coach at FIU, was the coach when Coach Prime was at Jackson State. So and now somebody, if you know, tell me if I'm right. Coach Prime was at Jackson State. Willie Simmons at the same time was at FAMU. So you never know. The fact that move is happening, and we had one of our guys to go to FIU too. So I don't really look at it like that. I don't think it has anything to do with coverage. I think the coverage is good, not just because we watch it, but because like Ryan Staub, he was working out. I did a podcast yesterday about that. He looked good throwing the ball. There could be a team that's like interested in Ryan. Some people say he could go to another Big 12 team and start, where they might not want to approach him, but they might want to kind of see some footage. And then to see him throwing alongside Shedeur and Caden kind of gave you an idea. He got a strong arm too. Shedeur, Caden, and Ryan Staub. So I think the coverage is good. I don't think that that's why coaches are leaving. I think it's a money thing. I think also too, Warren Sapp made some people, in my opinion, their positions irrelevant because he was so successful coming in. So I said this yesterday. So we know that Doc Livingston has been taken care of, not a healthy contract. We talked about some of the reasons why that could have been the case. But at the end of the day, it's still the case that was a lot of money to pay Doc Livingston. So maybe the other coaches, their salaries won't be that much. And we talked about how fans said yesterday that they thought that Marshall Faulk's salary at Colorado was kind of low for him, considering his experience and who he is. So I think with Doc Livingston getting a healthy piece of the pie, that could possibly either limit the number of coaches on the staffs. And I said Warren Sapp's contract will tell all. Warren Sapp's contract, the amount, if people coming out and saying it's low, he's lowballed, because we know that Coach Prime needs to keep Warren Sapp. So do they have enough money to pay Warren Sapp, but then also have Doc Livingston feel like he's in control? He's the leader because he's the DC. So that's something you got to work out. So money, how many slices of the pie can you get? If you got to give Doc Livingston most of it because he's the leader, DC, you know, you're not going to have as many coaches as you had before. You're going to have Doc Livingston, you're going to have Warren Sapp. I think he's the only D-line coach left. There you go. So, you know, that's where I think we are with that. All right, we made it to an hour, and I talked about everything on my list. That's awesome. That means I can keep it coming because I can't tell y'all how throughout the day certain things, you know, have come, and I have to make notes and like I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that. I did hear about one of the content creators from Colorado, you know, basically questioning if the coverage, the media coverage that's out there from Bucky and from People Media, you know, is one of the reasons people see that our staff is so good. I'm like, well, you kind of knew that anyway. I mean, the Buffs made a turnaround from Coach Prime's year 1 to year 2. And when you look at these guys in year 3, ooh. And then to be honest with you, there's coaching. There are people that know Colorado was successful last year with the unit that they have. And if I want to compete against them, then I'm a coach from you. So maybe you won't be as successful. But one thing about Coach Prime, I think he has a coaching pipeline. I really do. And again, we're going to wait and see what happens with Warren Sapp's contract. Before we get out of here, I want to see how much Marshall Faulk's contract at Colorado is, because people were kind of thinking it was a low ball. Let's see. But again, it's only so much money you got to spread around. And Coach Prime's contract might not be as healthy as we think it should be because he wants his coaches to be paid. Okay, it said in his first year as a running backs coach at the University of Colorado, Marshall Faulk will make $400,000. This includes a base salary of $300,000 and an additional $100,000 for community outreach. Okay, I don't know what that is, but that sounds interesting. If anybody knows what community outreach is and a coach's salary, let me know. In his second year, the community outreach component increases to $125,000. It said it also includes a courtesy car, well, that's nice, or $600 per month for in-state travel, car travel, and $20,000 for moving expenses. So they're gonna pay for him to relocate, which is good. And he gets a car to travel throughout the state because you want to recruit. Faulk is a Pro Football Hall of Fame running back who earned nearly $50 million during his NFL career from 94 to 2006. He played for the Colts and the Rams. So I think that's actually pretty good. I think sometimes when people hear dollar amount, they don't understand the intangibles, the whole compensation package, you know, is actually pretty good. So and community outreach, I don't know what that is, but I think it might have something to do with scouting, but you know, let me know. I've never heard that before, but that's not a surprise. So somebody school me on that. Kiel, I know you kind of know 22. You seem to have insight, Damon and Crowley as well. So, all right, y'all, I guess we're going to get ready to get out of here. We made it 1 hour and 11 minutes tonight. It's Tuesday. That's a light night, but this is about the same for us. So I want to say thank you to new subscribers. And Darlene, thanks for returning 400 Media. Thank you, sir, for being a friend of What She Said, Regina. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Part of the best duo and moderators on YouTube with Gracie. So I want to say thank you to everybody. Kiel, of course, joins every day. I appreciate it, fam. Blue Devil, welcome back. And thank you for always shouting us out. 22, thank you. Caroline, thank you so much. Now, y'all don't forget, we have memberships and we got a perk that's coming up and it's underway. You're going to have to be a member of What She Said. That's all I'm going to say. The first part is already done. Waiting on the second part to come up. And it will allow us to keep the communication going when the podcast is not in. So if we're not live yet and there's some breaking news, we got a way to talk about it. And after the podcast, if something comes up, we got a way to talk about it. So continuous conversation, lead it up to and after the podcast. All right, y'all. So we're gonna get ready to get out of here. I don't know if y'all have any conversations going, but I just want to say thank you. Probably says family, stay safe. 22 says Warren Sapp said that he's not at Colorado for the money, and probably the same thing about Marshall Faulk. They are there for the kids. Awesome. And I honestly, after reviewing Marshall Faulk's contract 22, I don't think it's bad. Considering the perks that he has, community outreach, I think that's huge. I'll find out more about that. A car allowance, they're relocating him. I don't know where he currently lives now, but the point is they're paying for him to relocate. So I think it's a win-win. And the fact that they aren't focused on the money means that Colorado can divide up the pie to where it needs to be. So when we hear about Warren Sapp's contract and Coach Prime's contract, I think it'll make a little bit more sense as to where the priority is. All right, y'all, we'll talk to y'all later. Thank y'all very much for hanging out with me at What She Said.